Alright, this is Vegeta8259, and this is part 2 of my Let's Build Real Grade Gundam series. And, yeah, let's get started. Since we did the unboxing video in the last part, this part will actually start putting it together. And, looks like Bandai starts us off from the feet, and looks like we're going to work our way up, so that's how I'll do it. And we can get a good look at these pre-assembled parts. And I'm going to have to get my hobby knife to cut this one out. That's the only bad thing about pre-assembled parts, is that some of the gates are really hard to get to. Alright, let's see. There is a little... here. I'm going to have to take this piece out, if I can get it out. And if I just press it down on here. Okay, there we go. Have to pull this tiny little piece out right here, and I think we're just going to discard that. And now we've got the foot. And it looks like this thing's going to rotate and come up. And then we'll have the joint for the end of the foot right here. And yeah, pretty simple, but I was got another joint. So, joint there, joint at the end, and I think this is for the ankle armor. So yeah. And let's see. I'm going to need some more parts. Where did they go? I need that brown runner. No, not the brown runner. The small black runner. The little thrusters that go on the bottom of the feet. Oops. I'm going to need one of these. And a lot of people trim their... Oops. God, these parts are so small I can hardly hold on to them. A lot of people, when they cut the parts off of the runners, they go ahead and trim them. And I do that on the armor, but like on the inner frame stuff, where a lot of it's not even going to be seen, what I'll do is I have these flush cutters. You can see they're flat on the bottom. I just cut as close to the part as I can. And then usually, I mean, personally that's good enough for me on an inner frame. I mean, if it's got a nub that really sticks out, I'll sand it. But, like, on the armor, the stuff that's going to be showing on the outside of the kit, then I'll take the effort to, you know, sand it and file it down and make it look nice. But on the inner frame, I'm not really concerned because, well, I mean, once I put the model together, I never display the inner frame again, so it seems kind of like wasted effort, in my opinion, to put too much effort into the inner frame. I mean, yeah, I'll paint it, but that's about as far as it's going to go for me. And if I can just get this little piece out again. There we go. Rotate that, bring it up. And now we need this other thruster. It's one of the funny things, you never really realize how long it takes to build a model kit until you film yourself doing it. Because if you had asked me before I did this, I would have said, no, there's no way it would take me 4 minutes and 15 seconds to build these two little pre-assembled feet. Alright, moving on. I'm just going to build the inner frame first. I'm not going to put the armor on, because actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the inner frame and paint it, and then paint the armor separately before attaching it to the inner frame. So with that, we get to move on to the legs, which have a lot of little connection points. So let's get started on this guy. There's one right there, and there, and there. And to the Real Grade's credit, these pre-assembled legs don't have as many gates on them as the pre-assembled legs on the Master Grade Gundam 1.5, or One Year War Gundam, or Shinmusha Gundam. They all use the same legs. Come on. Alright, there we go. Whoops. Alright, let's see. Which way is this oriented? This way. And this thing is going to rotate and do something. I think it just comes out, rotates, oh, and then it goes up and clips onto that. And then we get, oh, there we go, we get a nice little sliding effect. That'll be for the thigh. And here's the hip joint right here. Nice ball joint. And right here we're going to have to cut that little piece of plastic off, toss that to the side. And looks like this is just going to fold down like so. And we got a ball joint, actually a double ball joint for the ankle down here. Alright, now we're going to need the covers for the knee joints. And I'll use these two center ones. Now, for this Let's Build series, that one just kind of came right off. It wasn't a very thick gate. For this Let's Build series, I'm not going to film every single second of the build process like I did with my Master Grade Kampfer. So, I wouldn't really use the word abbreviated, but I'm definitely going to edit some of this out because, you know, there's really no point in showing me doing all this boring snapping together stuff. Although I am doing it now because I think that this inner frame is pretty unique and deserves to be shown off like this. And uh-oh, that tiny little ball joint just came out. There we go. Yeah, that's the thing about these pre-assembled inner frames. You have to be careful the first time you bend them, because some of the joints do tend to pop out a little bit. Alright. It's a very, very stiff knee joint, which may be good, may be bad. We'll find out later. And let's go back to this small one and put together these ankles. Let's see, H4 and 5. I'm not sure if I want to do the entire inner frame in this video or just do like the lower half. I don't know. Alright, and this thing is going to go like this. Okay. And it's just going to clip on to the ankle. One thing I have noticed so far with this kit is, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Maybe I did put it on wrong. Ah, there we go. Okay. One thing I've noticed, well, not really noticed, is kind of obvious, but a lot of the parts on this kit are very, very small. But they don't really feel all that fragile, because some of these parts are made of ABS, which is a stronger plastic than the usual polystyrene that Bandai uses. But so I'm hoping that this is going to be a tough little kit and it'll be able to withstand you know, normal posing and messing around with it. Let's see, I'm going to need these two. I think I'm going to need this one. I accidentally started doing the instructions backwards, so I'm just having to look at the part and guess which one I need rather than actually looking at the numbers, which probably isn't a good idea. Alright. And I think, well, yeah, I think this is pretty much all I'm going to do for the inner frame of this leg. Anyway, there we go. And see, we've got some nubs right here, because those are especially bad. Like, I haven't bothered sanding on any of these other ones, but those nubs right there on the side were pretty bad looking, so I'll just give those a quick little sand with my swizzle stick. Another sand over here, and that should get rid of it. Note though that even though I'm sanding these with this, that's not going to get rid of the discoloration. I'm only sanding it like that because I'm going to be painting my kit. So you know, sanding like that, what I just did, doesn't really get rid of the nub marks if you're just going to be building your kit out of the box without painting. You can get like one of those really fine grit sanding sponges and do it, and that'll pretty much get rid of them, but you can get rid of them with sandpaper. It just takes more effort than what I just did here on camera. Alright, we'll do this other leg, and I think I am just going to do the lower half of the body in this video, because I am going a bit longer than I originally thought I would. Alright, connect that thingy, cut off this little piece of plastic, and there we go. Let's see, knee covers, where'd it go? There it is. Get some more of these. And usually I don't just pull my parts off the runners like that, but that was a really small gate. Anyway, let's see, this goes on this way, I believe. And then this one will go on the other side. There we go. Let me put that aside. Now I need those ankle parts. I'm just going to let you know that right now that I'm absolutely scared to death of losing parts on this kit, because it may not show up on camera during my reviews, but I have a really bad habit of dropping parts, and I swear I think I have a black hole in my room, because every time I drop something, it's like it just disappears. It never falls wherever I drop it. It hits the ground and then like runs up under my bed or something. It's ridiculous. And with these parts being extra teeny tiny small, I have a intense fear of losing one of these pieces. I've done it before. See, I lost a piece to my Shinmusha Gundam, but luckily it was a small little piece that I was able to rebuild out of some scrap plastic, so I got lucky there. But and also my 30th anniversary 711 Gundam, I lost the V-fin to it. It was horrible. I had to make a new V-fin out of sheet styrene plastic, and then like 2 months later I finally found it. Anyway, so I think that does it for the legs, and yeah, that's pretty much the inner frame. There are some other inner frame parts. Let's see, where do they go? Like these, for example. I mean, you can see these have some inner frame detail on them, these as well, but they also have that gray from the outer armor attached to it, so I'll probably just be spray painting these gray and then painting those inner frame parts black or gunmetal or whatever color I end up using for the inner frame. Alright, so now that we've got the legs done, let's do the waist, which is conveniently on the next page. And then I'll just end this video there. Cut this thing out. Cut this out. And this. And this. And it looks like this whole little torso assembly right here is going to separate. Alright, let's see what Bandai is telling us to do. Looks like this thing is actually just going to pop right out. So, pop. There we go. And apparently this pops out as well. And I think that's about it. Let's see. As far as the legs going on here, which way is this going to be situated? Let's see. Okay, this is the front. So the hips are going to go in these holes. Right here. There we go. And I guess we'll just be putting the torso aside for now. And now I need that skirt armor piece, and I think we'll be done. Whew. I might have to get my hobby knife to get this out. Those gates are really tricky to get to. Cut that. Cut that. And there we go. So, this is going to be the inner frame for basically just the side skirts. And as you can see, it's got a ball joint for the side skirt here, and then it also has this little hinge which lets the side skirts go forward and back. It's very, very stiff though. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be using that very much. But anyway, after a long 17.5-minute video, we've got the lower half of the inner frame done. So make sure to come back for part 3, and then we'll do the upper half of the inner frame.